Good evening, you're listening to Modern Mystic Radio. I'm your host, Sarah, also known as Mystic Sarah in the UK on UK TV. Psychic Today is the show that I appear on. And you're also listening to A1R Psychic Radio, the world's #1 psychic radio network. If this is the first time you're tuning in, I'm just going to explain a little bit about how I work. I'm a psychic, have been all of my life, but working primarily for the last 27 years in the psychic industry. And I've gone through a real journey with my psychic ability and my psychic work. As many of you, who are sort of developing or on that spiritual pathway yourself, you will know how challenging it can sometimes be. We tend to go through, as psychics, as healers, as spiritual path seekers, we tend to go through really, really big emotional challenges. So as I've been going through my spiritual journey, because obviously I started very young, I started at the tender age of 17. What I found here is that because I started that work so young, I went through all those big challenges as I was going through my spiritual development. Sometimes it's the other way around. You'll go through all those challenges and you pick up your spiritual path a little bit later on in life. So today, I'm going to be talking about this wonderful full moon in Sagittarius that we've got this Friday, and sort of telling you how you can work with that in terms of being able to manifest. And I'm also going to be talking about the law of attraction as well, and manifesting, because that's another area that I absolutely love and adore. I started reading about the law of attraction probably about 15 years ago, and I've read hundreds and hundreds of books and tried hundreds of different techniques to try and manifest, what I was hoping for at that particular time. So it's an area that I do kind of work within. It's an area that I do specialise in. So if that's something you really want to sort of work with, your ability to manifest, that's something that I can help you with as well. So if you want to get hold of me outside of this, if you want to speak to me privately, why not visit my website, which is www.modern-mystic.co.uk, or you can find me on Facebook under Modern Mystic and also Mystic Sarah. And Twitter as well, if you want to get hold of me. Okay, so we have this full moon in Sagittarius, which I'm beginning to feel the energy of already. I'm a fire sign, so it is going to be affecting those fire signs out there, Aries, Leo and Sagittarius. And I feel like it's going to be a really, really powerful one as well. So what is Sagittarius good for? So Sagittarius works very well with any kind of legal matters, learning, study, or even teaching, writing, spiritual development, accessing the higher planes, accessing the Akashic records. So you can use the energy of the Sagittarian full moon for any of those aspects. So if it's, maybe even, trying to manifest, improving your ability to manifest. So how do I work with this full moon energy? So the colour that I would go for, if I'm using a candle here, would be either purple or royal blue. And what I would do is generally, I tend to carve my intentions or my ideas out onto the candle. So, I use a very, very small candle here because I don't want it to burn all night long. So I like that. And then I start meditating, I start focusing and really trying to bring in whatever it is that I'm trying to manifest here. And that's all you really, really need to do. So spend some time with that gorgeous full moon energy and work with it. Allow it to amplify those intentions out, which is what I use the full moon for. So let's talk a little bit about the law of attraction and manifesting. Now, like I said before, I've been working with this for over 15 years. So I've read many, many books, but about 15 years ago, I found this book, a fantastic little book called Cosmic Ordering by an author called Stephen Richards. And I tried it out. I read the book, tried it out, and I was absolutely flabbergasted. This, to me, probably was my first major breakthrough with the law of attraction. So when we look at, we can try affirmations, we can try vision boards and all sorts of different things, and focusing and concentrating, with real intent there. But sometimes that doesn't work. So you need to bear in mind that we're all individuals, and certain techniques will work for us perfectly and other techniques won't. So this is what I was finding, is getting real stumbling blocks with my manifesting. So I tried this book out, and it was very, very simple. The technique was incredibly simple. A few exercises to do beforehand, but basically what you do is you write your intention or request to the cosmos, to the universe, and you use very clean language, so very no negatives in there, so just positive statements. And I tried this out. I was looking for, at the time, another job. I was unhappy in my work, so I'd written down everything that I needed that job to have. So I wanted it to be nice and local to my home, bearing in mind I lived in quite a built up area. There wasn't really businesses around where I live, but I wanted to be so close that I could drop my daughter off to drop my kids off to school and still be in plenty of time for work, or maybe even walk to work. I specified my salary. I specified absolutely everything about the job that I could think of that I wanted. But because this was a new technique, and because I knew that I was looking for another job, I didn't want to just find myself with another job and think, oh, that's the law of attraction, it's worked. So I threw in a little bit of a wild card here into my order, and just to test out the theory. And this was, so I'd be promoted within 1 week, the period of 1 week. Because I thought that's impossible, it doesn't happen. But if it does happen, then I know this particular technique called cosmic ordering does actually work. So I went for this interview. It was around the corner from where I lived. I was offered the salary that I wanted, the job that I wanted as well. And the interview was bizarre, because before I went into the interview, I had to sit a test, and it was a really, really hard test. It was all really, really heavy mathematics, because this was an energy company. And that's, primarily sort of what they worked with. They worked out all the energy usages and everything like that. So I needed to have, this great degree of maths to be able to have the job. And believe it or not, I actually failed the test completely. I didn't get one thing right. I looked at these questions they're asking me. I didn't get one thing right. So I failed the test completely. So in my mind, you're not going to get the job, but I was offered the job, on the basis of the interviewer, the manager there said that they had just a really good feeling about me. And fundamentally, this is why people recruit. They recruit on that feeling, on that intuitive hunch that they get about you. So I started on a Monday, and I was in fact promoted on the Friday. Okay, so I got everything within that order, and I've done that quite a few times where I've been very specific with my orders. So if that's something that you are trying to do, if you've tried cosmic ordering or any other technique, bear in mind that when we're trying to manifest, we're working with energy, we're working with vibration as well. So if you are trying to change your reality in quite a vastly different way, bear in mind we don't necessarily just step into that reality overnight, okay? So sometimes if it's a hugely different reality, so when I went from sort of working full-time as a single parent, and wanting to start my own business, that's a massive jump here for me. So that's something I had to step into gradually by following the hunches and the signs that I was getting from the universe, really, really big signs. And if you are trying to manifest something quite big that is going to affect your day-to-day life in a massive, massive way, bear in mind that you can always ask for these signs as well, which is what I did. It's exactly what I did when I jumped from working full-time for somebody else to working for myself. And, you know, it was a huge risk that I took, but it paid off. And that is what I put that all down to the law of attraction. You know, everything that I've been able to create and manifest, you know, has been done through, you know, a period of, you know, working hard with the law of attraction, working hard to change my energy, to change my vibration. Because fundamentally, you know, if you want to check what your vibration is doing and what energy you're sending out to the universe, because bear in mind, yes, you can be very specific, and yes, you can use visualization, and you can picture yourself doing this, and you can picture yourself doing that, but you've also got to have the feelings behind it, because that's what the universe pays attention to, is how you're feeling. So that vibration of the energy of your feeling on a day-to-day basis will determine what you're actually manifesting. Okay, so bear that in mind. And if you want to check what your subconscious is sending out there, have a look at your first thought and feeling when you wake up, because that will give you a strong indication of what your subconscious mind is actually up to. So it may very well be the case, as I experienced, that you can manifest something, but if your subconscious mind is playing maybe an opposing pattern here that might be, I don't know, built into you from day one, a pattern that perhaps you've carried, you know, from your parents and from your upbringing, then you know you need to really access that and become aware of what that pattern is, so you can break it. And this is where, you know, I do a lot of work within my psychic work in terms of determining what those blocks and subconscious patterns actually are. And once you become aware of them, you stop doing them, you know, and stop falling into that trap. Okay, right, so I believe I've got my first caller here. Now, this is Rhonda from Pennsylvania. Hi, Rhonda, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Do you have a question for me tonight?
I do. This year has started off with a lot of changes, big changes.
Yeah.
And I just kind of wanted to know what else is coming, because I feel like something big is coming.
Okay.
Bigger than what's already happened, and I'm just very curious about it.
Right, okay, let me just have a look for you. I'm going to pull out some cards. This is looking, so it feels like this year has given you almost like a fresh start, where I feel like you've cleared so much stuff. It's like I've got you beginning again, you know, but it's like you I don't know, it's like you've got a clean slate. So you're starting this year off on a completely different footing, in a completely different situation, with completely different circumstances around you. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So what I get here, I feel like you're right. Your intuition is correct here in terms of you sensing that there is something else to come in. Okay, because what I'm seeing happening for you, and I'm getting the summer months around this, so I want to say this month, July and August, are going to be particularly strong here for you. And this is all about you finally going up a level, okay? And I feel such an element of almost like creative energy around you, and creativity and intuition is kind of screaming out here, and you feel like you are in a different I want to say in a different place in life. That might even be literal. So have you moved here?
Excuse me?
Have you moved home?
No.
Yes. Yeah. So I feel like I've got you literally in a completely different vibration now. I want to say there are strong elements of almost like spiritual development and spiritual growth, but I also feel that you're going to be given an opportunity that has a work kind of feel around it, but it's on a higher level than what you've previously been doing. I'm also getting a very strong indication of changes around love as well for you, love and relationships. So that seems to be going on to a whole new level as well. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. There's a huge change around work, stepping right through for the next 3 months, and also as we go into the month of September. So I wouldn't be surprised if you make a major leap forward around that, and also that major leap forward around the relationships. I feel like it's a very, very interesting energy that you've got at the moment, because it feels as though you're in the perfect framework, as it were, the perfect framework to be able to manifest a bigger and stronger future for yourself. I also get the element of travel as well coming in for you, but I get with you, it's almost like financial and personal abundance coming in. So I feel like your reality in that respect, yes, it's changed considerably already, but I feel like it's still undergoing change. It's still morphing. It's still you're still transitioning. You think you've reached your new destination, but it feels like the universe has something much bigger and better planned here for you. That you could, how can I put it? It's almost like beyond your dreams. Okay, so it feels as though I'm getting you being catapulted forwards on many different levels with work, love and finances all starting to harmonise here. I feel like last year was that you did a lot of cutting away, if that makes sense. Cutting away of old patterns and releasing energy. At the moment, I feel like it's like everything is kind of being suspended just as you settle a little bit into your new set of circumstances here. But I want to say within the next 3 months, there is a major jump forwards here for you that I don't even feel you're going to have to necessarily apply a lot of effort to. So if I go back here in your life, I feel that you've always had to put so much effort in. Does that make sense? You put so much effort into things, and for whatever reason, I feel like it's you've always struggled to kind of get what you want. However, I feel really from this year onwards, it's like all the brakes come off, all the blocks come off, and you're able to get to where you want to be and beyond. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah. Is there anything you would like to ask?
What was that?
Is there anything else you would like to ask?
No, I think you answered it all.
Okay. All right. Are you happy with that?
Yes, I am.
Okay, wonderful. Well, you have a lovely evening, and thank you very much for coming through tonight. And off she goes. So we have Charlene in Fall River, Massachusetts. Hi, Charlene, are you there?
Yes. Hi.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
I am good.
Wonderful, wonderful. Do you have a question for me, Charlene?
Okay, let's see. Okay. So, I'm going to speak as loud as I can. Alright. So, this is about this guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
You hear me? Alright. So, this is about this guy named Luke, and I want to know if he is in my near future.
Okay, let me have a look here. Right, I'm going to shuffle the cards. And let's just see what I have for you.
Okay.
Okay, let's have a look here. Now you have with this guy, you have a really, really strong soul connection here with him. But as I tune into your energy, because at the moment I feel like you're I don't know whether it's you and I don't know whether it's him, that seems to be a sort of, I want to say unclear, undecided around your connection. I feel like it's still, you're still finding your footing, you're still trying to work out what this is all about, but you are very aware that there is a big connection between the two of you. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so let me just have a look. Right, this, if I tune into the energy of this, you know, to answer your question, I do feel that you know, they will be in your life, but I feel that it's almost like it's going to, I feel like it's a little bit tricky to kind of get it off the ground, because I feel that it kind of goes forward and then it steps back, and I feel like there's a lot of chopping and changing of the energy around this particular relationship. I feel if I look at this, I want to say a little bit more time. I'm getting sort of around 4 weeks here with this. You'll see a stronger movement forwards here with this relationship. But I have got a definite love connection here between the two of you. And the emotions seem to be really, really powerful. And there seems to be, like I said, there's a real strong soul and spiritual connection between the two of you. And I feel this is about, there's two things that are kind of, I feel like both of you have had quite a lot of difficulty in terms of relationships in the past. Okay, so yes, you've got this really strong connection, but you both seem very cautious in terms of moving it forward or stepping into it or throwing yourself into it, you know, too early without being able to ascertain and work out whether both of you are on the same track, if that makes sense, or on the same pathway. I feel even though this is in its very early stages, I feel that you already have, you know, quite an intuitive connection here with them. And this is kind of looking to me as though we have a soulmate kind of connection here with them, or with, you know, between you and him. The number one thing that I feel is kind of pushing buttons, if you like, within this situation is, you know, your past experiences. And I feel like that is both making you both go quite slowly here. I feel, is there some sort of work connection between the two of you?
Can you expand on that?
Is there some sort of work connection or similarity between the two of you?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, because I get work tied into this, but you've also got the wish card. I keep on being given the number 3 around this. So I want to say within sort of either 3 weeks or 3 months, I feel like I've got this relationship moving forwards in the direction that you would like it to be. Okay, so I'm seeing it go from what feels like quite an intense work connection to a very strong relationship. So your intuition is correct. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you. I'm nearly at the end of my show. I want to thank you for coming through. And I'm going to wish you a very, very lovely evening and a great week ahead. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much. And off she goes, and that has gone so quickly. I can't believe my show is nearly over. So if you want to get hold of me again, my website is www.modern-mystic.co.uk. There are links as well to my website on the A1R Psychic Radio Network website if you want to get hold of me. So I'm hoping you enjoy the full moon energy on Friday, and get manifesting your desires and your hopes and your dreams. So I'm going to thank you for listening. I'm going to thank the callers for coming through, lovely Charlene and also Rhonda, and hope you have a fantastic week ahead. Love and light to you all, and I shall see you same time next week. Bye for now.